Good morning, students. Let's continue with the same lesson. So, before I start with the new topic, let's have a recap of previous lecture. In previous lecture, we studied this mind map, that is classification of share capital. In that, we studied what are authorized capital, what are issued capital, what are unissued capital. From issued capital, what does subscribed capital mean and what does unsubscribed capital mean? Under subscribed capital, the capital which is been called by the company, they are called as called up capital, and the capital which is not called is called as uncalled capital, and the capital which is kept as a reserve for the purpose of winding up of the company, that capital is called as reserve capital. Under called up capital, we studied what is paid up capital and what are calls in arrears. Now, let's begin with the further part. This, that is issue of shares. Issue of shares means whenever a company offers shares to public, that time it is called as issue of shares. Now, it is up to company whether they want to issue equity share or preference shares. It depends on company's choice as per the requirement of the company. Now let us understand various methods of issue of shares. How shares are offered to public. There are 4 different ways with the help of which company issues shares to public. First one is public offer. Yes, the very first one is public offer, that A1. Public offer, as I explained before also, public offer means offering public to purchase or to invest their money into the company. This can be done with 2 ways, that is IPO and FPO. Let us understand these 2 concepts. What is IPO, students? IPO means initial public offer. By the name itself, this concept says that whenever company issues or whenever company offers their shares to the public for the first time. Understand, I am repeating again, whenever company offers or whenever company issues their shares to the public for the first time, that offer is called as initial public offer. This IPO is usually done by new companies, or also whenever the existing companies want to bring more capital in the company, or we can say whenever existing company want to expand their capital, they can do that with the help of initial public offer. Is that clear? Now, let us understand the second concept, that is further public offer or follow on public offer. That is what is FPO. FPO means further public offer or follow on public offer. See, when a company issues shares to the public after an IPO is done. See now, students, IPO means whenever company offers the shares for the first time. But first time after that, whenever company offers shares to the public, that time is called as further public offer. Or we can say whenever company offers public for the second time or for the continuing time, that offer is called as further public offer or a follow on public offer. That is what is FPO. I hope you all are clear with these two concepts. Now let us move further with the B method of issue of shares. B method, that is existing equity shareholders. Students, this is one of the advantage which is there with equity shareholders. Usually whenever the existing company, whenever they want to launch new shares in the market or whenever they want to expand their capital, they usually give first preference to equity shareholders. They first offer those shares to existing equity shareholders. There are two ways by which company offers shares to equity shareholders, that is right issue and bonus issue. Let us understand these two concepts in detail. What is right issue, students? Right issue is nothing but the first preference or the right given to equity shareholders to accept the offer. See here, company offers existing equity shareholders to purchase their additional shares. Is that clear? And so those shares are called as right issue, or we can say this method is called as right issue method. Clear? Now there are certain provisions or there are certain rules which are being laid down on the company. What are those rules? Let us come to that particular page. Here are the provisions of right issue. Okay, what are the provisions? The very first provision is that right shares are sold to the existing shareholders at a price which is lesser than its market price. Let us take example. If my company want to launch some shares, or if my company want to expand shares in the market, then whatever will be the market price, I have to offer the shares to existing equity shareholders at the lesser price. For example, if the share value of my shares will be ₹100, so I will have to offer to existing equity shareholders at less price than 100, maybe 90 or 95 or 80. Is that clear? But lesser than ₹100, whatever will be the market price. Are you all getting? Now, second provision says that company has to send a letter of offer to all equity shareholders. Clear? And if existing equity shareholders are interested in the company, then they will accept this letter of offer and they will purchase the shares. And if they are not interested, then they will not respond to the letter of offer. Clear? Now, third provision says that letter of offer should mention the number of shares offered, the period of offer, that is the validity duration. Again, the validity duration have a condition that the validity of period should not be less than 15 days and not more than 30 days. I'll repeat, the period of offer or the validity should be not less than 15 days and not more than 30 days. Is that clear? Third point says that it is not a compulsion, students, on any of the shareholder that they have to purchase the shares. It is up to their choice. If they wish, they can purchase the right issue shares, or else they can leave it. Is that clear? Now, fourth condition is that the letter of offer can be sent by registered post or speed post or courier or through electronic mode. Is that clear, students? All the four provisions which are related to right issue. Okay. Now, let's move further with the bonus shares. Now, what is bonus shares, students? Bonus shares means bonus shares are those shares which are again given to the existing equity shareholders, but they are given free of cost. Of course, the name bonus itself says that the shares are given freely and they are not supposed to be purchased or they are not supposed to be sold. That is a bonus given by a company to all equity shareholders. There is a provision again related to this. The first provision says that company can issue bonus shares only out of free reserves. See, students, why does company gives bonus shares? Because they have ample of reserves, or we can say retained profit with them, and whenever they want to bring those retained profit into the business in form of capital, that time they issue bonus shares. So first provision says that company can issue bonus shares out of free reserves or securities premium account. Security premium account is the account in which shares are sold at premium. They are being kept as a security. And what is capital redemption reserve account, students? In which the capital which has to be paid back to the debentures. All those capitals are reserved under redemption reserve account. Is that clear? Now, another condition is company should not give first preference to bonus share in comparison to the dividend payment. See, I'll give you one example. If my company has ample of reserves or ample of retained profit with me, but I had not paid dividend to my shareholders, I had not given interest to my creditors, so first preference should be given for paying off the dividend or interest or any kind of loan which is pending. And then only company is allowed to offer bonus shares in the market. Is that clear? Bonus shares should be fully paid up shares. And once the company announce bonus shares in the market, they will have to offer bonus shares. They cannot withdraw it once it is announced. Is that clear? Now, let us come to the third method of issue of shares, that is existing employees. See, students, this method is given to the existing employees of the company. There are 4 ways by which company can issue or company can offer shares to their existing employees. Let us understand one by one. I'll come to that particular page. Now, here is it. Offering shares to existing employees. See students, there are 4 ways. The first way is ESOS, that is Employees Stock Option Scheme. This is one of the method by which company offers their shares to their existing employees. The employees such as their directors, or we can say permanent employees are there, directors or officers of the company, or it may be a holding company. What is holding company, students? If my company have a hold on another company, then that another company becomes the holding company. If some XYZ company have a hold on my company, then that particular company becomes my subscribing company. Okay, so this offer is also there for the holding company as well as subscribing, or we can say a subsidiary company. Is that clear? Now, why these offers are given to the existing employee students? So as to gain the trust, or so as to make the employees feel proud to be the part of the company and continue with the same trust and same power and work in the company for the longer period. Is that clear? Now, let us understand some provisions. See students, for every method there are certain rules. So there are certain provisions which company has to follow. Let us understand the provisions which are related to ESOS. First one is, a company may offer the shares directly to employees or through welfare trust. Second one, the shares are offered at the price lesser than their market price. Again, the same provision is there. Whatever market price will be there, company has to offer the lesser price to their existing employees under such schemes. Clear? There is minimum 1 year with the employee to take advantage. See, for example, if I got the advantage of ESOS of Ashoka's organization, then I can use this scheme within 1 year, because that is what is the vesting period within which I have to use that service. Is that clear? Now, another condition is there will be a lock-in period. Lock-in period is the duration. In that duration, employee cannot sell or cannot sell out those shares to anyone. They have to keep those shares with them at least for one lock-in period of 1 year. Is that clear? During this, employees do not get the advantage of dividend and nor the advantage of voting rights. They will be just the part of the shares of the company. Also, they cannot transfer their shares to anyone else. As I said before, they have to keep their shares with them. I hope you all are clear with this concept. Now, let us have a look on second method, that is employee stock purchase scheme. Here students, there is very minute difference between ESOS, that is the previous method, and this ESPS. What is the difference is, here the amount of shares will be deducted from employee's salary account. Okay, rest all points are similar. What all points are there? See, the employees will be getting equity shares at the discounted price, the way we were having in ESOS. Second point, that every employee's category wise shares will be offered. Okay, there are certain levels among the employees, so shares will be offered according to their levels, according to their job title. Clear? Third point says that ESPS shares will be having minimum of 1 year of lock-in period, the way it was there for ESOS. Fourth point is, there are certain provisions, there are certain rules which are laid down in SEBI, and every employee has to accept those provisions. Fifth point states that company should get an approval from shareholders whether they want to accept the offers which are given on ESPS scheme or no. Is that clear? Now let us understand the third method, that is Stock Appreciation Rights Scheme, SARS, Stock Appreciation Rights Scheme. Under this scheme, students, what company will be doing is, company will be giving a future date to the employees who will be opting this scheme. I'll give you one example. If my company is offering SARS to Mr. X, company's employee, he accepted this scheme, then I will be giving him one future date. On that future date, if my company performs good, if the market price of my company goes up, then Mr. X will be getting the additional amount of the shares, or we can say appreciation amount on the shares. Is that clear? I'll give you one more example. With the same example, I'll just add value to it. If I offered SARS scheme to Mr. X, Mr. X accepted that scheme. I offered him the shares at rupees 100 and I promised him. That is what is Stock Appreciation Rights Scheme. I gave him the future date that after 6 months, if the market price of my company goes high, that is more than 100 rupees, then whatever will be the additional appreciation, that much amount will be added, that much of amount will be given to Mr. X as an appreciation amount. Are you all getting? Here Mr. X is not purchasing the shares. In fact, I am giving him the shares free of cost. He doesn't have to purchase. What is the benefit over here to Mr. X? He will be getting the shares of the company. He will become the part owner of the company. Along with that, he will be getting the appreciation amount if company makes a good profit till that particular specified date. Is that clear? Now, let us understand fourth method, that is sweat equity shares. What is sweat equity shares? Sweat equity shares means shares which are being given by the company to his employees as a gift or as a reward for the work which employee has done. or for the contribution that employee has given to the company. Is that clear? Instead of paying in cash, company may use this type of shares to reward their employees. Clear? Sweat equity shares are pari passu. Pari passu means the equal value which is given to all equity shares. Whatever values or whatever rights equity shareholder has, the same value will be carried on with the sweat equity shares. Is that clear? For this, again, company will have to take the approval of employee of the company. Another thing, the lock-in period of sweat equity share is of 3 years. Till 3 years, employee won't be able to transfer this to anyone else. Is that clear? Now, let us understand the fourth method of issue of shares, that is by private placement. That is what is right issue and preferential allotment. Students, we had studied this concept private placement in 11th standard. What is private placement, students? Whenever company arrange capital privately, or we can say whenever company, instead of offering shares to the open market, to the public, whenever they offer shares to their relatives or the closer people privately, when the company arrange the capital privately, that time it is called as private placement. Now let us come to that particular page. Here, this point is further bifurcated into two, that is right issue and preferential allotment. Right issue is whatever we studied before, that is offering shares to existing equity shareholders. Whatever we studied under that, the same thing will come under right issue again. The second one is preferential allotment. Here, when a company issues specified securities, that is equity shares or other securities which are going to get converted into equity share in future. For example, convertible debentures. Yes or no? Which are going to get converted into equity shares in future. So such securities or such equity shares are being offered to some specific group of people. That time it is called as preferential allotment. Is that clear? Now, here you can see that there is additional information given, that is distinguish between private placement and preferential allotment. What is private placement? Securities offered to selected group of people not exceeding 200 people. Whereas preferential allotment is selected securities, that is equity shares or securities that can be converted into equity shares. Just now I explained this, right? Same thing is there. This becomes the one point to understand the concept clearly. This is one of the distinguish between both the topics. Under private placement, shares offered through private placement can be fully paid up or partly paid up. But whereas under preferential allotment, students, shares offered are always fully paid up. Clear? Private placement offer letter is issued when shares are offered. There is always a offer letter given to the person or a group of people who want to become a part of private placement. If those people or group of people accept the offer letter, then and then only they become the part of it. And under preferential allotment students, there is no such formalities. See students, usually company prefer this way so as to avoid rigid formalities, or we can say to avoid paperwork. Usually there are no more formalities involved in such method. So, and whenever there is a need of capital on urgency basis, so this method is usually adopted by companies. Is that clear? Now, I had completed this topic, but students, this topic will be more clear only if you read each and every point. In the next lecture, whenever we will be having online lecture, that time I'll be clearing your doubts. So till that time, please do read out all these points and mark out the points which are not clear to you all, so that during live session we will clear it. Is that clear? Thank you.